Hey guys, it's Sam, and today I'm going to do a book chat talking about my experiences with fandom. And this video does include paid promotion by Disney Book Group featuring collaboration on Ship It by Britta London. Now this book is in stores now and is the debut from one of the writers of Riverdale. This follows the main character of Claire, who is 16 years old and a self-described fangirl, and she is obsessed with the show Demon Heart. Forrest is an actor, and he is kind of burnt out and dreaming of bigger roles. When the two meet at a local Comic-Con, Claire is overjoyed, but then things kind of go disastrously wrong on the Q&A panel when she asks him a question about the possibility that his character might be gay, and he laughs it off. Now Claire is devastated by this reaction from him because she writes a very popular fanfiction in which he is in a romantic relationship with one of his male frenemies. And she's kind of devastated that her hero turns out to be a closed-minded jerk. Now that disastrous Q&A ends up going viral on the internet, and the producers of Demon Heart are scrambling. They bring Claire on for the rest of the publicity tour, kind of to save face. What ends up ensuing is a bunch of clashes between fandom and the producers at a number of Comic-Con stops, which leads Forrest to question his ideas that he had about sexuality, and for Claire to kind of come out of her shell a bit. So this book revolves around what it means to be a fan, what it means to be a shipper, and fandoms clashing with canon, and all of the messiness that ensues from that. So because of this, I wanted to talk about my interaction with fandom over the years. As you guys know, I am very vocal about being semi-involved in fandom. I'm not a fanfiction writer. I'm not like deep diving into the fandom, but I always am kind of on the outskirts. I dive into fandom after viewing something new or reading something new or whatever, and I like to interact with it. I really like to interact with the art. I like to interact with some of the fan fiction one-shots, because at this point in my life I don't have time for full fan fiction at all, and I just like some of the merch and stuff like that that comes out of fandom. Now my first foray into fandom, I would say, would definitely be the Buffy the Vampire Slayer fandom. Now this was my original OG dive into media and consuming it and all this stuff. I've talked about before how obsessed I am with Buffy the Vampire Slayer and how I have been since 8th grade, possibly 7th, but I know 8th was when it really got deep. And I would record episodes on VHS because that's what we had back then in the old days, and it would play on FX, and I would watch all the repeat episodes. And I eventually bought the DVDs, and I would watch all the DVDs, all the DVD commentary, all the extras. That's what got me into makeup initially, was because all of the talk of how they stylized the beauty makeup on Buffy over the years, and it's very 90s and great. And also how they did the special effects and stuff, that got me into special effects makeup and what they did with that, because Buffy had a smaller budget. You know, they didn't have a ton of CGI and stuff, so a lot of that was animatronics and makeup artists and all this stuff. So Buffy had a very large impact on my life. In 8th grade, I had binders, and me and my best friend for every class would write Buffy quotes on all of our different binders, and all this stuff from different characters, and it was a deep obsession. I have kept all of my Buffy DVDs. We just did a move. I'm recently moved into a new apartment, and I was cleaning out a lot of my DVDs. I got rid of 95% of them. I kept my Buffy DVDs, as well as my Dawson's Creek DVDs. And Buffy was one of the first reasons I ever got fandom-related merch. Now, I don't own this anymore, but I'd gotten on eBay and had found a picture of Drusilla and Spike from Buffy, who are two of the villains in season 2, and then onward as well, but mostly season 2. And it was signed, but it was also $11. And I was like, oh my god, there's this signed thing from some of my favorite actors. I must have it. So I bought it off eBay, my first ever eBay purchase. And I got here, and obviously it's a copy. It wasn't an actual authentically signed autograph thing, but I kept it for a long time. It was laminated, it was beautiful, but it was a copy. So that got me a little bit more leery of autograph things. That might be why I don't really care that much about autograph things anymore, honestly, because I'm just meh, it's a signature. But I cared back then, and I was still very happy to have it. Currently, I even have the Buffy 20th Anniversary Edition Watcher's Guide that I display so that everybody knows that I love it. And this is a guide to all of the episodes and stuff like that. I don't need to read it because I know things about it, but I display it to be ask me about my favorite thing. Now, more recently, the place that I go for fandom related things is Tumblr. And I haven't had a ton of time for Tumblr lately, honestly. That has had to kind of depart from my life temporarily because I don't have time to just scroll through Tumblr and reblog all the pretty things. But it's still a place that is the fandom heart for me personally. I'm not an AO3, I'm not going on the fan fictions. It's Tumblr because it covers everything. It has discourse, it has fanfic one-shots, it has the art, it has gift sets, it has everything I want. When I first got into Tumblr, actually, the first thing that I did, I actually had a fitness Tumblr for a very short time, like 5 years ago. But after that, I made the Vampire Diaries specific Tumblr where I just talked about the Vampire Diaries. I also had a whole page, because most people did, devoted to all of their ships in any kind of capacity, so anything, any media. So I had a whole page with GIFs that were devoted to those specific ships, and I ranked them by like, are they OTP status? Do I kind of ship it? Do I bro TP ship it? Like, how do I do this? I remember spending a long time like coding that and formatting it so that everybody who visited my Tumblr could look at who I loved, because I was very passionate about that. And this is carried over into like current times as well, because as you guys know, I do videos on ships fairly regularly within other media, within book media. Every year I wrap up all of the couples that I read about in the previous year and rank them. I've done that both on this channel and on my second channel with like non-bookish media. I like talking about ships. I talk about my favorite angsty ships. I talk about what I like in ships. Talking about ships is something that I am personally very passionate about. And that has always been a thing. And again, Tumblr is somewhere that I go if I finish a series that I know is popular and has a big fandom, or if I start watching a TV show that I know is popular, which again, right now I'm not watching TV, but soon, guys, soon. Class is like, August. Just give me to August. But anyway, we're usually watching TV or movies or whatever. When I watched Black Panther, like most recently is when I went down the Tumblr hole again. I will go and I will soak in it, and I will just experience all the fandom stuff and the discourse, if it's not too like bad and stressful, and like all of the gifs and all of the pretty things and all of the art, and it is great. And I have a couple that I constantly go back to within Tumblr tags. So obviously Mass Effect, Dragon Age, and probably Hermione. Those are my 3 that I will go back to again and again and just search through. Like if I just need some time to just like veg and experience joy, those are the tags that I will go in and just scroll and have a fun time. Those also happen to be some of my favorite Funko Pops. So we have a little Garrus Funko Pop, and we have Hermione Funko Pops that sit on my Harry Potter shelf in love. Mass Effect is where most of my fandom clothing pieces come from. You guys have seen me wear my Christmas sweater. That's my N7 Christmas sweater. It's packed, so I'm not going to show it to you, but you've seen it in numerous videos. I also have an N7 hoodie that I wear very frequently, and it's no longer available on the BioWare store because the BioWare store is like decomposing in front of my eyes, and I'm waiting desperately for the Commander Shepard leggings to come back in stock, and they probably never will, so I'll never get to wear them, and I am very upset about it. I also have this really great t-shirt that's made by an artist that says I should go, and it's Shepard all bloody and beat up. But I should go is like her catchphrase. I also have a number of video game related art pieces that I really enjoy. Like this artist that I got at a local Comic-Con. I have like 4 of her prints. It's a little ridiculous. But this is one that's all for Assassin's Creed, and it's a lady assassin with like the Assassin's Creed code. I apologize for my ring light, but you know, happens. I also have this print, which is a nice crossover thing. Star Wars and Assassin's Creed. Isn't it great? So yeah, I find that my fandom related prints and clothing tend to be video games, and then some of my other stuff tends to be books. So I have a lot of like candles, which are packed away, and like bath bombs and stuff like that that are book related. I get those in subscription boxes, stuff like that. And then prints and clothing tends to be video game. I don't know why that is, and I just made that connection right now. But either way, fandom is something that's very fun for me. Sometimes fandom can get really messy and really not fun, and you have to take a couple steps away. Sometimes the creators or the actors in shows can be really crappy. Sometimes the fans can be really crappy. Sometimes the show just gets overwhelming. Sometimes you don't want to fight in the ship wars anymore. Sometimes you don't want to engage in the discourse anymore, and you have to take a step back. But overall, my fandom experience is generally pretty fun. I put my eggs in a lot of different baskets with fandom, so it's not like I'm only in one, and if that gets messy, then I can't do it anymore and I have to like disengage from all of it. It's like I can just kind of avoid this one if it's getting a little like too much. Usually that's Star Wars. And I can go somewhere else and just kind of have fun with it, and it's fine. So not being too woven in and deep in any of the fandoms is really good for me, and I kind of am like able to go everywhere. I'm a multi-shipper, I'm a multi-fandom person, and it's always a fun time for me, generally speaking. So comment down below, let me know your experience with fandom, if you have any favorite fandom items, if you engage in fan fiction, like how do you engage with fandom? How has that experience been for you? Comment down below and let me know. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!